Have you played the video games?
No.
Resident Evil.
What?
Oh, it's in the video game.
This is the review for the Resident Evil the board game. The good and bad about it.
By the end of this video, you will know how evil it can be.
We have 5 dark questions that we will answer in this video, but before we do that, Giannis, what is this Resident Evil, the board game, the third one, the first one, all about?
The third one that came out, but it's the first one.
It's one of those.
It's, yeah. You are a bunch of special forces soldiers that ran away from something horrible and locked themselves in the mansion. And you're trying to survive the mansion while trying to get out.
And you can do that by exploring the mansion. There are different scenarios. You open up the scenario book, place the tiles there based on what the scenario says, and it will also have a description of what your objective is.
Then going one by one, you will do 4 actions on each of your turns. One of the actions could be moving. You can just move 1 space per action, and you can do that up to 4 times. Another action you can do is you can shoot the zombies or the Cerberuses and other monsters, and it's really hard to do because only one of the sides lets you kind of kill it instantly. Another thing you can do, you can interact with the objects on the map, like picking up items, opening doors, pushing levers, all kinds of different things. You're doing this to accomplish the goal of the scenario.
For example, some of those missions would be clear all the zombies, or clear all the corpses, or go there and push this button.
And you're doing all of this to hopefully get to the last scenario. When and how it will happen, you don't know, because you can play the scenarios in different order, and depending in which order you play them, you might get there sooner or later. After you're done with your turn, there will be a reaction phase. Each of the zombies that are connected to your room or in your room move or attack, and then you will draw a card that will most of the time say all clear.
So it's kind of an event phase where nothing happens or something really bad happens. You also will have different items that you can use that will maybe help you out in this sticky situation.
Of course, you get a gun, right? Let's go, shoot anybody as long as you have bullets. And then those are gonna run out.
And we're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, so we should jump to the first question. That is...
Who would you buy this for?
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew? That's the first question.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. John Kramer victims?
It's like from the Saw?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that movie.
This game is really dark themed. It's also a maze. It's also a puzzle each time. The rooms, how they are placed, where the items are. You have to see it and figure out where to move, how to move, because you can't shoot all the zombies. You can try to, but you can't. No. And if you run out of bullets, then you're also kind of run out of time.
Have you saw all the movies?
Most of them, yes.
Wow, that's surprising. If you're a fan of the video game, or for someone who is a fan of the video game, why otherwise would you buy this weird named horror game that you didn't know about before? It's a dungeon crawler in itself, so if you're looking for a campaign dungeon crawler, that would be one of the reasons. But the other and the main, I think, is if you like the video games and you want to experience that in this format.
So what are the 3 best things about it?
Third best thing about this game for me is going to be non-linear. So what that means is there are these cards on the table which kind of represent the mansion and where you can go. And you can say, okay, let's go here. And then you open that scenario in the scenario book, set it up and play. And afterwards, a new scenario will open up, or you can go to the previous ones that you have not done yet. Or if you lose the scenario, you can come back later if you want to. Gives you a sense of freedom, which I really like.
Move, shoot, open are basically all the actions you will do in this game. Move, shoot, and open or close doors. So super simple to teach. If somebody would join you for a scenario or go away, you can easily do that.
The scenario explorations. I really like how these are placed there on the setup, and then when you go into that room, you will flip open the cards and tell you what is there, like bodies, zombies. And the other thing is, it will have some doors on the sides, and when you go through that door, you will reveal and place new tiles. So you don't know the full layout before. It gives you like the sense of exploration and finding new things there.
Controlling the zombies. Whenever you close the doors, the zombies outside of your region kind of stop. They just can't open doors. So they don't activate. But you most likely will need to get through that room anyway, so you can figure out how to move, when to open doors and close the doors.
And my favorite thing is the reaction phase, which kind of plays into what you said. Each time somebody finishes a turn, all the zombies or enemies in their tile or connected tiles, that's what you mentioned about the doors closing and shutting, will react. Each time I do something, they keep moving and they keep coming, and then you close the door and they can't get through, or you have to run around them. Feels like the board is always alive. Well, not really alive because they're zombies, they're kind of dead, right?
Yeah. And number one thing for me is the level design. There's tons of rooms to explore and see, and all of them are very unique. The same strategy won't work for 2 rooms. One is just quietly go around, don't touch them. The other one is here's a puzzle with button there and a lever there and a room there. Very unique, and a lot of different games in one.
Why this game might not be for them?
Number one is run.
Now?
Yeah. For some people I played with, they wanted to go guns blazing and shoot those zombies. This is not how you play this game. It's a puzzle where you have to figure out when to shoot.
How many more times are you gonna say puzzle in this video?
3.
I'll put a zombie here for each of those 3 times you're still gonna say it. The rulebook. The rulebook is long and the game is simple. You think it doesn't make sense? It does not. They tried to put in like a tutorial in the middle, but still it feels like it didn't make learning game much easier. It's very hard to find things in there. It's very easy to miss things in there. Can't really quickly sit down and reread it.
So for me is the maze. The problem is that sometimes you will have a scenario where you have to open a door, but only if you have this item. And it turns out you can only get this item in a different room, like in different scenario. Nobody tells you that. And the biggest problem is that before starting each scenario, you have to create some item decks or different decks, add some cards. So when you get to a point where you can just physically open the doors, you start running through those decks and realize, I just don't have those cards. What happened? Did I mess up? I don't know. And nobody explains to you that. I found out that's just how it should be, that you can't open some doors and you should go back to that scenario, which I don't like in the first place. But I mean, it's in the video game, so I guess it's fine. And that kind of ruined my enjoyment of that scenario.
It's this one, it's this fault. So you would almost say that some of those, what do you call them, you can't solve? What do you call them?
Yeah, not sure what you're talking about.
The ones, you know, with the P? No? Never mind, they'll come back to you. Deck wrangling. Let's say you go into this room, remove the exploration token, draw an exploration card that will add something. Then you finish your turn, you draw an event card that will tell you something. It might say, hey, now you draw from the mission deck, that tells you draw again from the exploration deck, and so many decks, and I know it makes sense that that's the way, you know, to add the replayability even to playing the same scenario, but it's just so many decks, and I feel like I'm fighting decks as much as I'm fighting zombies in this game. Decks always win.
Who forgot the flashlight? The design of the game is super dark. It doesn't look good. It's not practical at all. Again, it's from the video game. I feel like it's a lazy excuse for a bad design.
Yeah. And you know what's the funny thing? They already had this problem with the first Resident Evil game they did, and the second Resident Evil game they did. And this is the third. How many more is it gonna take to make them brighter? One
of it is the looks, but also then you have tiles with doors, and you can have them opened or destroyed. Looking from here, I have no clue. This is, okay, this is, I think, the destroyed doors. I can't sell this game to anybody unless they have played a video game, then they're like, oh, Resident Evil, cool video game. But when you place it on the table, it looks bad.
Doesn't look that good, yeah. Last thing for me is going to be, it's quite high for me, setup and teardown. I did mention the deck wrangling throughout the game, but oh boy, when you have to set up the B deck, you have to construct custom way each time. We have to set it up. I have to take all the decks out and not mix them up with the ones that I don't need, with the ones that I need, and I've reduced it to, this is our ongoing campaign bag. These are the cards that are removed, just like this thing that I will spill out and still sort through it, yeah. Let's see what is the best alternative to this.
3, 2, 1. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. That's also a campaign game based on a video game. Each scenario is a different map, a different puzzle. Nice. And you also, usually, you have to pick and choose your battles, when to just sneakily go through and when maybe to attack. Very similar games, except this one I can't see.
Yeah, I was gonna say you picked that one because it has really nice tiles. Yeah. Really nice looking tiles. I mean, the tiles there, wow! I picked Descent. Descent is a different type of campaign game, not based on any video game. You have a character, you level up, you go through scenarios, and It's a generic fantasy theme, good fantasy theme, but generic, and it also helps if you can leave it set up. What is the final rating of these dark tiles?
To give you immersive experience, this is how you play Resident Evil.
Yeah, Alice, I can hear you, but where?
3, 2, 1.
I just not gonna see anything.
Okay.
What do you have there? Okay, you have it okay.
Yeah,
I have
really good. Plus, actually the gameplay is better than okay, but everything else extra, the rulebook, the tiles, the just feel of it feels a bit messy. I mean, it's the third game.
I put it as very good. I think if you're a fan of the video game, this is gonna be a level up for you. Because you're gonna go like, oh yeah, it's like that. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, blah, 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 you know. Yeah. If you can see it, obviously. Yeah. I'd say if you like the video game, you like dungeon crawlers, give it a go. I think it plays great solo as well. You don't have to have kids or friends or whatever.
It's not a bad game at all, but I also won't play it. So can give it higher than okay.
I guess we have solved
this puzzle.
Yay! How to support our channel?
Well, you can buy the merch. Check out the merch shirts with home is games are where home where your games are.
That one. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.